constantly being told by people what a fantastic husband I had. Like, he'll do all sorts of things for anybody and everybody. To others he seems very generous because he is like that to other people.
During the 26 years that we were married, he was always kind and gentle.
He was a very good community man, kind, always willing to help wherever possible in the community, always treated me with a great deal of respect. He was involved in Service Club, Rotary, Paul Harris Fellow, and he'd been in local government from a well-respected family. So all in all, a good citizen.
She'd been with this particular partner for 12 months and they decided to get married, and she described this husband as a Jekyll and Hyde. For 12 months he painted the picture of a perfect partner, really respectful, gentle, no loud voice, no yelling at her or anything like that. And on the night of the marriage, he raped her basically.
What kind of man rapes a woman? Any man, normal men, it seems to me. I don't think there's any special kind of man that rapes a woman. It's certainly not the case that it's, psychotic or deranged or disturbed individuals. We know that the psychological profile of men who do use sexual violence is pretty normal. Having said that the men who rape partners are normal men, I don't mean normal in a good way, I mean normal as in psychologically average. We also know that those men are more likely than other men to have rape-supportive attitudes. They're more likely to have hostile and disrespectful attitudes towards women. They're more likely to believe in male sexual entitlement. In other words, a right to sexual access, a right to gain access to their female partners' bodies.
It seems like they're all good fellas, that they're decent citizens. It happens across all socio-economic levels, and the few that end up in court, their solicitors seem to say that they're good fellas and decent community members.
It's very difficult for a woman to come out and say, my husband, who may be the head of the Lions, and the head of the football team and known by everyone as a great bloke, very, very difficult for her to come out and say, he's been assaulting me and he's been raping me. And we see that quite often, and it sometimes makes me feel quite sick, because I know when it has happened in the community and I see these men who are pillars of the community, and I've seen the other side.
I said to her, "What's been going on for you? What's happened?" And she spoke about her story of being in a marriage with a man who was the pillar of community, had died, 1,000 people at his funeral, and the relief of his death, because within her relationship there was physical and sexual violence and no respect of her whatsoever. And she said that that was the first time she'd started some health-seeking behaviours, and where she didn't have a beeper or a phone or any way that he could contact her because he was dead.
It's really helpful to get away from the stereotype of offenders that they're, highly violent batterers or sick. Whereas in fact your research was showing very diverse offending behaviour, where you could have men who could in fact be very charming and behave very appropriately towards women in many circumstances, but then on the other hand rape their intimate partners.